Hi, I'm Leela. I'm a member of the Lecturer Employees Organization. I'm a lecturer in the Sweetland Center for Writing. I'm here today to interview Bonnie Halloran, the president of the Lecturer Employees Organization. She's going to talk to us a little bit about what's going on in the state. So enjoy the interview.
Hi, my name's Bonnie Halloran. I'm the president of LEO, and I'm a lecturer on the U of M Dearborn campus. I teach anthropology there. I've been there about 15 years.
Great, thank you. So can you tell me what the state of the state is? So in other words, how have recent events created a threat to unions in Michigan?
Okay, this year I think has been a very difficult year for unions in the state of Michigan and across the entire country. In Michigan alone, there have been over 80 proposed bills that are anti-labor in orientation. There's also been bills cutting funding to public education. There was a 15% cut to higher ed's budget for this year, and those are significant stresses for us as a union in Michigan. The university also has had more of an anti-union tenor than it ever has in the past. This relates to the GSRA campaign, that's the Graduate Student Research Assistant campaign, where the regents themselves actually voted that the campaign could go on and there would be non-interference in that, but the university president, Mary Sue Coleman, was totally opposed to that, and there was a serious anti-union campaign an underground anti-union campaign going on campus. So this is pretty tough atmosphere for us as a union on campus in the state of Michigan, in the USA, where there's all this anti-union activity going on.
So what do you think the future might hold for Michigan in general? Or if you want to talk about the Lecturers Employee Organization, LEO in particular?
Well, I think there's, as bad as things are in Michigan right now, I think there's a lot of things on the political agenda or the legislative agenda that can make it worse. There's concerns that in December or January that the Republican legislature, if there's still the majority in January, will institute a full right-to-work legislation as opposed to the 80 small bills that they've got going through the House and the Senate right now. I'm concerned about the economy in Michigan and where the money's going to come from to fund public education. If we continue to have the housing, the mortgage crisis, and more people are not paying property taxes, I just don't know. So the financial situation in the state is a big threat for us also, besides the political environment. What we're trying to do right now, the labor movement, and LEO is very involved in this, trying to address some of this, is through a petition drive process to put an amendment on the Michigan Constitution. That amendment is to protect employees' right to bargain collectively and to organize. That is not currently protected in the Michigan Constitution, and we're trying to collect around 550,000 signatures so that we can get that on the ballot in November. This is a way of trying to intervene in all the anti-union legislation that's been going on in the state. So this is an active role that the unions across the state are playing in, and LEO is very active in that. We're working together with the Graduate Student Organization, and right now we're collecting petition signatures on campus from students. This was our first week doing that, and we collected over 700 signatures in 1 week. So that was the combined efforts of 2 unions here on campus, and this is just one of the steps that we're taking in that process.
So what can LEO members do? And so, I know some LEO members are already walking around with petitions, right? So maybe you could talk about what they could do with this petition, or if they've never been involved, what could they do?
Well, so they can sign the petitions. There's plenty of LEO members going around asking for signatures. We're collecting signatures from 9 in the morning until around 3:30 in the afternoon on the Ann Arbor campus, right in the fishbowl area and on the diag. So you could go there, find the folks who are collecting petition signatures. You could sign the petition, or you could volunteer to take a petition and collect your own signatures. 12 signatures is what the petition takes. That's easy to do. So that's one thing you could do. Another thing you can do as a Leo member is contribute to the AFT Michigan Political Action Committee. The money from that committee goes to support labor-friendly and education-friendly legislators who are up for re-election in the state of Michigan. It's very important who has the majority in the House and the Senate. And right now, most all of this legislation is coming out of a Republican majority. And one way of improving our future is to change the makeup of the House and the Senate in the state of Michigan. Another is to be aware of the election of regents that are coming up in this November. 2 regents are retiring who have been very supportive of our issues. They have been good friends to us. We have been able to go to them when we have had concerns and problems, and they are retiring. We will miss them dearly, but we have 2 very powerful candidates running that the Union Council has endorsed. One of them is Mark Bernstein, and the other is Shauna Ryder-Diggs. And our interview with them was, they are just very outstanding, knowledgeable candidates. They understand labor issues, and Shauna is actually a graduate of U of M undergrad and the medical school, and asked really sharp questions when we were doing the interviewing process. So one thing you can do is make sure you vote for the regents, and you tell your friends and your colleagues about why these are good candidates. This is an office most people don't know of. It's the last thing down on the ballot, and sometimes people just don't vote there, but that's really important for us also.
Great.
So that's, so there's the electoral process, there's the donation to the campaigns of labor-friendly candidates, and there is the petition drive. So there's lots of things that Leo members can do to get involved in this process.